and we couldn't get any more information. We didn't have access. We couldn't. My 88-year-old father couldn't even call the hospital and get information. So my son Justin, who is a soldier, was like, "I'm going there." He's in California too, and he just went. And you all may have seen his video that he did. If you didn't, you might want to look at it just because there's more information. He knows dates and times and everything. Anyway, so he was able to get in there, but Solar was telling him stuff like he might look like he's in a coma, but he's really not. And my son, his father passed away a couple of years ago, and he was in a coma. So he was like, "Oh, I know what a coma looks like." You know what I mean? So, don't tell me that. And he just really stood up to him. And but when he left it, he was just like, "It's not right." So, so after that time, everything just went downhill from there, and we couldn't get a lot of information that we needed to get, to the point where when my brother passed away, we found out on the internet. And the hospital, we're still sort of looking into whether we have any legal sort of remedy against the hospital, because the law is that once the person dies, the healthcare proxy dies. So in other words, once my brother passed away, that healthcare proxy thing was null and void, and so the hospital should have contacted my dad at a very minimum instead of still contacting Solar. But what the hospital said is that Solar or his wife told them they would contact my father, which they did not. So my son, got up, saw it on the internet, called me and said, "Is it true?" And I was like, "I don't know." So I called my father. My father had to call the hospital I don't know how many times. He's 88 years old, had to call the hospital asking if his son is dead or alive. That's not right. And then my 9-year-old nephew, his mother's driving him to school, and he hears on the radio that his father died. That's not right. So to me, if this is a man who really cares, about my brother and his life, why would he have his family find out that way? This doesn't make any sense to me. Then, on top of that, to make matters worse, the hospital also released a body, in his custody or whatever it's called. And we had to, my other brother, fortunately, was in New York at the time. He had to call funeral homes to find out where the body was, because this dude was getting ready to cremate him. But the only thing that stopped him, when he called the funeral home, pretending to be my brother and his wife pretending to be me, the funeral home manager or whatever asked him, a series of questions, and one of them was, "What's your mother's maiden name?" And they didn't know. So the funeral home was already alerted, like, "Oh, this is a little shaky. Why would our brother and sister not know their mother's maiden name?" And my brother was able to get there in time, and we did know that my brother, that Keith Guru, wanted to be cremated, so he went ahead and did that, and at least it was in the family's control at that point instead of Solar. So that's the only thing I think that kept my father from really losing it, because it was bad enough, he had to find out this way, and for a while didn't know where his son's body was. It was just, I wouldn't treat a dog like that, So yeah, I'm bitter about that, but I think good conquers evil, and so we gained control of that. And we're now pursuing other legal remedies to make sure his legacy is intact, his assets, etc., so that whatever comes out of this financially can go to his son as opposed to anyone else.
All right. And sort of on that same note, a final statement was released through Solar from Guru. Has been buzzing with skepticism. Do you have any reservations about the validity of it?
Of course. As I said to both XXL and MTV, you asked me the same question. My brother was in a coma from mid-February until he passed away April 19th. So I don't know how people make statements when they're in a coma. The other thing I would say about that is, if he did make a statement knowing that he was going to pass away, it would have been to his son or to my father. It wouldn't have been about, DJ Premier or Solar. It's just, ridiculous. It was such a self-serving statement. I thought it was pretty obvious. And most of the comments that I've read and heard about it, people have felt the same way.
Has there been a scheduled memorial service for Guru for the public and as well in private?
Not yet. I mean, privately, our family is, we're still actually waiting for his ashes. So we haven't been able to do anything yet. The funeral home said there was a backlog in terms of the urns, and they can't, of course, send it without that. So we're waiting for that. But we've decided to have a memorial service the weekend of his birthday, which is July 17th. So either in Boston or New York or maybe both places. We haven't quite worked it out yet.
And online, there's rumors that there may be a website set up in Guru's honor.
Yes, we're working on that. A lot of people, we've heard from people all over the world, really, about this, and different web experts have offered their expertise. Some people have already set up websites, so we're sort of trying to combine whatever is already, established and add to it so that it can be a place that fans can go to, to post things, music, his music can be heard, etc. So there's a lot of things like that in the works.
And lastly, what do you think, how do you think his legacy in hip-hop and in general as a man should be remembered?
Well, one of the things I feel pleased about is that I think people are able to sort of see through all the, I don't even know what to call it, all the subterfuge to what really is the truth. And I think people are able to, even though just like we didn't understand why he trusted Solar so much, people who don't understand that have decided to sort of let that go and just appreciate, his talent and his music, what he tried to say. And so I feel like his legacy, is intact, and I think his legacy is, when you have a dream, pursue it. Don't let anyone hold you back. As I said, reaching out to the underdog, to those who don't have, some of the, material things, educational opportunities, etc., to help them feel like they can still, achieve their potential. And I think that, through his son, I think he instilled a lot of that into his son. He's only 9 years old, but he's a great kid, and I really hope that he's got a good mother, so I really hope that he's able to, carry on what his father would have wanted him to carry on. And I think that for us, for his family, even though we knew he was talented and we knew, that people appreciated him, now we're seeing on what a large scale the magnitude of it. Because as I said, we're hearing from people from all over the world, different ages, different races, different income levels. It's amazing. And I feel like, unfortunately, I don't think he got his due when he was alive. And so that the tragedy of it is it's coming now, like after he's gone. And I just hope that, somewhere he can feel it, he can hear it, he can hear the applause. So.